Alrighty then, people. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've last put content out. It's almost illegal that I have not been this active, um, and yeah, that's my fault. My apologies. I've just not been very motivated with the constant negative news swirling around the club. It genuinely puts me in a shitty mood, and I don't really fancy doing much in the way of football content creation because I'll really feel like I just want to switch it all off and forget about it for a little while and then come back when I'm feeling a little bit better about myself. But we're here right now to address that, to address the elephant in the room. Um, as the title of the video suggests, Mbeumo deal frustration. It was about 11 days ago I put out the video that the deal may be close, finally closing in. There was talks about the club had preemptively uh, booked a medical slot for the player to actually come in and, do the business. But that has not happened. None of that has happened. We are still very much figuring out prices. And even though Brentford's made it abundantly clear as to what the price was for the player at the start of the window, what the terms and conditions would be, we knew that the player would not make this transfer any bit harder whatsoever. So doing the agreements with the player would be easy enough. And then it's just sorting out the deal with the club. Now, as long as you understand how to work or play this game with structuring the deals to convince the club that you pay as little as possibly can now, and then you guarantee more payment, more payment further down the line, but then the bonuses on top of that look quite lucrative. But they get those payments if you're doing well. And that's kind of how it should be with the adults, because if United do well, we pick up more money, we earn more money doing it, right? So you can pay a little bit of a premium to these other clubs to say, well, thanks to you, the deal we've done with you for this player, they put us in a good position. So, here's our agreement. Have a little bit of a cash injection here. So that's how it should be formulated. But we've spent so much time on this, and what at first I thought initially would just be maybe they're waiting for the club accounts to reset for June the 1st before things really hit the ground running, um, or when we can expect a change of pace. We've seen absolutely no change, none whatsoever. Other clubs have, to be fair to them, they have. I mean, Arsenal, for example. Turns out Zubimendi is not dead. He's actually alive and is now an Arsenal player, as will be the case with Victor Gyökeres very, very soon. They're patiently trying to do that deal, and they will not take nearly as long as we have with Brentford. And now reports have come out today. Now, I don't know whether this is factually, observed, like is an actual statement from their behalf. But with the situation, if it were to explain itself, you could agree. You could absolutely agree. Brian Mbeumo is probably feeling quite pissed off with United at the moment, since it's a piece of transfer business that should have been completed a while ago. It hasn't. And about £5 million for an upfront fee is what United are apprehensive and sort of holding back on submitting the deal for. And it's also the story we had before, where there was the acclamation that United were not imminent with submitting a third bid. They're not interested. They're 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 biding their time. That the talks are going on. That we are fully focused on this player. And I've got to say that someone somewhere, guys, someone somewhere is lying. They're absolutely lying. I don't think this Brian and Burmo deal is happening because of anything PSR related or anything, you know, FFP wise, like nothing to do with that. I just think that maybe it's because the release clause they paid for Acuna, they've got plans for other signings after a Burmo, but don't, like, if they pay up front what Brentford want for Mbeumo, they're not going to have anywhere near the sort of money that's needed to, to actually set aside to complete this deal. And maybe there's truth to that. Maybe Brentford would much rather than installments get, much bigger amounts of money to to actually be able to put on the table for this third bid. Now, I'm intrigued if there is, behind closed curtains, if there is a struggle for the cash with the pending sales of Anthony Alanga. I believe it's pretty much done. We've got a sell-on clause there, so there's cash coming in from that deal. But Real Madrid have also sped up the approach to Alvaro Fernandez, so there's also a sell-on clause there. So we've got two players that are bringing cash into this club who don't even play for us. And is that small cash injection going to be enough for the club to go, yeah, now we'll put forward the money? If that's what this club has been waiting for, then I think it's fair to say that the financial situation is actually a lot more significantly dire. Um, but we can't sit here and say, let's sympathise with them. Let's sympathise with this ownership, because let's be real. For the mismanagement that we've had for years and years and years, decades, multiple decades, we're here for a reason. We're up shit creek for a reason, right? And we're just, it feels like we could definitely see the root cause of all of our problems right glaring the obvious problems staring us right in the face, right in front of us. No translation needed. But people still want to go down different garden paths to come to different conclusions. It's like there's almost this air of desperation to not blame ownership for anything going on, or to have any responsibility as to why we are having the difficulties we are. And you're probably wondering, well, what does Ineos have to do with this? They came into a mess. They did the deal to get into bed with this. They saw this problem and thought, let's have some of that. Rather than come in all guns blazing, take the whole club, and then inject a absolute boatload of cash into the projects of Manchester United, would not only have done the club lots and lots of favours, but don't adopt this principle of extreme expense savings, where you claim that to save the pennies, the pounds will then look after themselves, when everybody else around you is free spending. Is free spending. And it truly is completely and utterly frustrating to have to bear witness to. Like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, because the same problems that we are experiencing this summer we had last summer, the summer before, the summer before, the summer before, the summer before. We have it in the January transfer windows. You know, from money, yeah, money accounts. We had enough money to splash cash allegedly for Cunha and also Brian and Mbeumo, which that's not been the case. I mean, the people are talking about, oh yeah, they've got enough money to do this Mbeumo deal, but then they've got to sell to buy. Well, we're behaving like we don't have the money to do this Mbeumo deal. to sell to buy afterwards. It looks like we don't really have any money. It was Cunha and that was it. But the club at the same time, no desperate measure to go and sort this issue out in a hurry. So that's that's its own problems, you know. We us fans have our ambitions. They've got their stupid little projects, Project 2028. Yeah, we'll win the league by then. Yeah, it's all grand. You know, it's only been like the test runs of this planning has only ever been completed in FIFA career mode. Beyond that, they've not seen like none of the benefactors of this plan have seen the light of day. So I'm not vibing with this Ineos idea that they've got going on right now. And yeah, that's basically where we're at with this Mbeumo deal. I firmly believe that it's to do with cash flow, that they are waiting for some money to come in. But the problem is whilst we're frustrated, I think they're happy to play this long game. I think they're happy. The longer they don't spend money for, the happier they are. It's an absolute madness. And now Rashford is, you know, Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho, none of them have been sold. None of them. Every single one of them is still employed at this club. Every single one. Crazy, crazy stuff. But, you know, the woes don't end there. They don't end there. The striker situation. Gyökeres was the dream, but unfortunately, the dream has to stay a dream. You wake up and you open your eyes. It's like, let's say, you're the typical Chad or the typical Joe, the average Joe. You're dreaming about your wife, and your wife is a sleek supermodel, right? Fantastic physique, but a heart of gold, right? You know, she's special. She's really special, and that's what you're just like, I could achieve that. I could achieve that, but then you're interrupted by your alarm, right? It's 6 o'clock in the morning. You struggle to toggle the alarm on your faulty clock. You turn over, and there's a £600 beluga whale that is sat there with that gigantic 10 head that looks like it could perform echolocation. And she doesn't treat you very well. She doesn't treat you very well. You know, she demands that you give her an allowance for you to date her. And, you know, you ended up in this situation because a couple of friends dared you to. It's long. It's really, really long. But that's kind of what we have to deal with. That's what the fan base has got to deal with. You know, acknowledge it. Other clubs in better positions are going to get the better players simply because one, we're not as arsed with performing the miracles in the market. We're not capable of performing the miracles in the market. And then to top it all off, the reality is that the best you're probably going to get. And I see it with people talking about, well, let's go for Ekitike, let's go for Osherman, let's go for somebody else. I honestly don't think there's any strikers on the market right now, right, that United can get, except Calvert-Lewin, and then potentially Callum and Jamie Vardy. Those are the only players that United can probably get. That's depressing. We talk about, oh, let's hope we can go get someone else. Let's hope we can go get someone else. No, there is nobody else. There's nobody else that our club can actually do a deal for that gets these better quality players in through the door. There's nobody else out there. There's nobody else out there. Even if we were Brentford, for crying out loud, even if we were Brentford, we'd still have a better chance at going out there and getting a legitimate striker for what we need today, and we'd do a fair deal for it. We're Manchester United. We're not Brentford. We're Manchester United. Everything about this club is broken from top to bottom, including the fan base. It's all broken. It's all broken. There's literally nothing. There's nothing we can do. There's literally nothing we can do. Uh, well, except of course protesting. I mean, we could, uh, you know, excessively vocalize our discontent with the ownership, but everyone's too busy trying to be Ratcliffe's friend than realize the situation. They've gone from uh, writing hate speeches to writing love letters to Joel and Avram Glazer. Like, where did this shift happen? Why did people go from hating Glazers and posting all over timelines and social feeds, Glazers out, to now no longer Glazers out? Actually, you know what? I'm probably closer to Glazer in. Like, it's honestly pathetic because again, Ineos have, I think, guilt tripped a lot of fans into sympathise with me, sympathise with me. The situation's hard, the situation's difficult. But they did the deal to jump into a pit filled with pythons. And they are extremely potent or vulnerable to snake venom. But you willingly put yourself in there. And you could have done more, but there's always just there's a line we'll draw where we will not cross. Let's just be real. If we had Qatari would not be drawing lines as to what we don't cross. They'd be writing checks with many, many zeros. And they'll be putting money forwards to solve a lot of the issues this club genuinely has, and putting people in charge with the mantra that, second best, it was second place is first loser, and if you're not winning it, you're not in it. As simple as that. But that's our club politics for you, and certain fans out there would much rather have this that they have now, this absolute shambles. They'd much prefer this, and potentially face a relegation battle again next season, than not have any of these problems and actually be a club that's competing. They'd much rather have the struggle than the privilege. And they call us fake fans. They say they're the real fans. I disagree. There's nothing fan about you. Fans are meant to support. You're not supporting. You're dooming. And it's as simple as that. Well, let me know what your views are on matters. Of course, we have to congratulate. I don't really want to congratulate, but we ain't got much of a choice. But yeah, to summarise, in Mbeumo, fans are pissed off with the deal. Brentford are allegedly pissed off with the deal. Can't disagree. They just want their money so they can actually do stuff. And Mbeumo's pissed off because he should be training today. He should have been training today, and he wasn't. And everyone's just sick and tired. But all the mental gymnastics to allocate Ineos sympathy, then you know, can't be a real Man United fan if you don't sympathise with the Glazers and Ineos. You're not a real fan. But anyways, put your thoughts and feelings in the comment section, and yeah, if you decide to go morals on me about Qatar and this and that, I'm just going to insta block those comments because it's a football channel. We talk about the objective nature of what an owner does for a football club, not what their politics are in the world. So, we'll leave it at that. So, yeah, smash the likes, subscribe, and hopefully there is some form of news that actually takes a bit of the weight off of our shoulders, and hopefully bloody Ineos and Glazers pull the goddamn finger out and sign a fucking player. Sign a player. Sign a player. And that's as much as we can say. Take care, people. Tomorrow night there was meant to be The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but that show is being postponed. Whether it's for another day in this week or whether it'll be until next week, um, Wednesday, we'll have to wait and see. But you're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer for the return of season 3 for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But when it does land, it shall land without landing gear, and we shall nosedive it into the tarmac and all of that stuff. Well, I'm not going to crash the show per se, but it's going to be a heavy impact on the scene. Take care, people, and we'll catch you guys next time.